we are unpacking the layers around selfish and guilt. So if you do something that causes harm to another person, and then you feel badly about that, now you're going to have a sense of guilt. And you might even shame yourself and think, well, that was really selfish of me to do that to that person. So guilt has lots of layers to it, and play with the idea that guilt is actually you taking responsibility for their feelings. Now you're disempowering them. You're burdening yourself down with responsibilities that are not yours. And when we take responsibility for another person's feelings, we then have a weird thing where we actually try to start controlling how they feel. So now we're again disempowering them even more. So when you do something that does cause harm to another, you're using guilt to kind of slap yourself back and forth into a more awakened state. And I'm going to give you a different process to use when you feel selfish and guilty. So in the last decade or week, did you do something that caused harm to another? And then say to yourself, okay, when I did that, I was being reactive. And when I was reactive, I was scared about a need that I was afraid I was going to lose, not get. So I didn't feel safe, or I needed space, or I needed quiet. So just say to yourself, what did you need that created that reactivity, that created harm? You might even jot that down. What was that need? And then say to yourself, oh, so I got reactive because I was looking for a need externally. And I could take that moment when I caused harm to another, and I could retrieve responsibility for that need. And you might even say to yourself, imagine sitting across from this person, and you literally say to them, you are responsible for my psychic space, or for my safety, or for supporting me. And then you're like, oh my God, you're not. But sometimes we have to say, like, you are responsible for ... And then because we can feel how that's what we're doing energetically, saying to that person, this is your responsibility, we can feel how disempowered we get. Of like, oh God, we just gave responsibility for this core need to this other person. And then we immediately become a victim. That means we're immediately going to become a victimizer and attack. So then you say, you know what? Oh, that's really not your job. Retrieve responsibility for that need off of that person. Because what also happens is when we give that responsibility away, then we sometimes take responsibility for soothing them, protecting them, whatever it might be. It's a weird thing that we do simultaneously without even realizing it. But step one, retrieve responsibility for that need off of this person. And then you might even silently say, at the level of your higher self to their higher self, I gave you responsibility for a particular need. That totally disempowered me. It totally burdened you down. I then attacked you to try to get that responsibility back. And I'm sorry. I was unaware. I was reactive. I was scared. And that caused a lot of harm. I'm going to retrieve that responsibility off of you. I am going to send you appropriate energetic information that might help you in your own journey, your own evolution, because we both agreed to this dance. And I'm going to start meeting that need deep in my core, more, so that the next time you show up in my life in this way, or somebody else shows up in my life in this way, I used that moment to evolve. to move into greater degrees of maturity, of holding out responsibility for meeting that need deep in the core, in the divine line of the cosmic loop, in the divine line of your body deva, in the divine lines of your team. So anytime you are reactive, immediately ask yourself, what's the need that you are not getting that's creating the reactivity? And start meeting the need deep in the core. Balancing and stabilizing, updating your grids.